A somber cloud hangs over American history today, with hearts heavy and voices trembling across the nation. We announce the passing of Richard Bruce Cheney, known to the world as Dick Cheney, born on January 30, 1941, and departing this world on November 3, 2025. Cheney leaves behind a legacy that shaped the course of the United States and the world. At the age of 84, after decades spent at the highest levels of power, Dick Cheney passed away due to complications from pneumonia and long-standing cardiac and vascular disease. His passing brings to a close one of the most consequential, controversial, and impactful political lives in modern American history. A man once described as the most powerful vice president to ever serve, a strategist whose decisions steered the nation in its darkest and most defining moments, and a figure whose legacy continues to spark debate, admiration, and the reflection. Dick Cheney's journey was unprecedented. Today, America and indeed the world pauses and remembers. Biography. Richard Bruce Cheney was born in Lincoln, Nebraska, to a humble family who soon relocated to Casper, Wyoming. A child of the American heartland, he grew up with a deep sense of patriotism and duty. Cheney attended Yale University, though his path eventually led him back home, where he earned both a Bachelor of Arts and a Master of Arts in Political Science from the University of Wyoming. His journey into politics began not with speeches or ambitions of fame, but with a quiet internship for Congressman William Steiger. It was here that a young, quiet, thoughtful Cheney began to understand the gears of government gears he would later command with unmatched force. From those modest beginnings, Dick Cheney rose step by step into the heart of American power. Early career rise through Washington. Cheney's early government work led him into the administrations of President Richard Nixon and President Gerald Ford, where he served as White House Chief of Staff, calm, strategic, and relentless. Cheney quickly became known as one of the sharpest and most disciplined staffers Washington had ever seen. In 1978, he entered elected office, winning a seat in the United States House of Representatives for Wyoming. Over 10 years, he served his state with consistency, ultimately rising to become House Minority Whip, a testament to his tactical genius and respected leadership. Then came the Pentagon, Secretary of Defense leading America through war. In 1989, Cheney was appointed United States Secretary of Defense by President George Herbert Walker Bush. During this tenure, he oversaw two major military operations: Operation Just Cause in Panama, Operation Desert Storm in the Persian Gulf War. Under his leadership, the United States military achieved one of the swiftest and most decisive victories in modern warfare, reshaping Middle Eastern geopolitics and cementing Cheney's reputation as a formidable national security architect. His time at the Pentagon made him a giant in defense strategy, a reputation that would follow him forever. Private sector and return to power. Following his service in government, Cheney entered the private sector, becoming Chief Executive Officer of Halliburton in 1995. There, he guided the multinational energy corporation through a period of major expansion. But the call of power and service soon returned. Vice President of the United States. In 2001, Dick Cheney became the 46th Vice President of the United States, serving under President George Walker Bush. What followed would define a global era. Only months into their administration, the September 11th attacks shook the world. In the chaos and fear that followed, Cheney became an anchor of decision-making and national defense, shaping policies that transformed global security. His influence touched every corner of government intelligence, military operations, emergency response, foreign alliances, and anti-terror strategy. For many, Cheney was the steady, unyielding strategist America needed. For others, he became a symbol of expanded executive power and controversial wartime decisions. From Afghanistan to Iraq, from intelligence programs to counter-terror doctrine, his fingerprint remains permanent on 21st century history. Personal life. Beyond the corridors of power, Dick Cheney was a husband, father, and grandfather. He married Lynne Vincent in 1964, a partnership that lasted a lifetime. Together, they raised two daughters, Elizabeth Cheney and Mary Cheney, each pursuing their own path in public and private life. Cheney was an avid outdoorsman, a lover of Wyoming's wildland, and a deeply committed family man. His private life, often quiet and shielded from public view, reflected a man who cherished loyalty, tradition, and the closeness of family. Cause of death. After a lifetime marked by serious heart disease, including multiple heart attacks, cardiac surgeries, and a heart transplant, Dick Cheney passed away from complications of pneumonia, combined with long-standing cardiac and vascular illness. Even in the face of health challenges that would stop most men, he continued to work, speak, write, and remain active in public life, a testament to his resilience and unwavering will. Family life. Cheney leaves behind his beloved wife, Lynne, daughters Liz and Mary, sons-in-law, and grandchildren who remember him not as a statesman, but as a father and grandfather who loved deeply, spoke quietly, and cared fiercely. Net worth. At the time of his passing, Dick Cheney's estimated net worth stood in the tens of millions of dollars, stemming from decades of public service, corporate leadership, investments, and authorship. Legacy and impact. Few figures in American history have left a legacy as complex, debated, powerful, and enduring as Dick Cheney. To supporters, he was a guardian of American strength, a man who stood firm when the world trembled. To critics, he represented the harsh, unyielding edge of American power, a man whose decisions sparked profound global consequences. To historians, he will always remain a strategist, a protector, a political architect, and one of the most influential public figures of the modern era. Whatever one believes, Dick Cheney changed history, and history will forever remember him. Emotional tribute. Dick Cheney lived not a quiet life, but a consequential one. He walked through the storms of world crises, made decisions that shaped nations, and carried the weight of history on his shoulders. He spoke softly, but his decisions roared across continents. Today, we honor a complicated life, a powerful life, a life of loyalty, conviction, and duty. May he rest in eternal peace, and may history continue to study, debate, and learn from the world he helped shape.